The following program is a presentation of Rogers Community 4, Surrey.
When your foursome sees your jersey,
yeah,
they're going to try to trade it.
Hockey players and golf, the words are almost synonymous, especially around playoff time, but also for charity tournaments like this one, the second annual Clark Foundation NHL Oldtimers Celebrity Golf Classic, where the likes of NHL greats such as Bobby Hull, Bob Gainey, and Eddie the Entertainer Shat packed up their clubs and headed to the Northview Golf and Country Club for a day of golf with corporate BC, with money raised going to the Sunny Hill Health Center for Children. What you're looking at is a shot of the Northview Golf and Country Club. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Erickson. Welcome to the second annual Clark Foundation NHL Oldtimers Celebrity Golf Classic. Stay with us as we take an in-depth look of the day's events, hockey legends, some great golf, and of course, an awful lot of fun. Stay with us over the next half hour for this exciting event. As players began to show up on a damp July day in Vancouver, tournament organizers took effect informing participants, NHL legends, and members of corporate BC of their teams and the day's events. And it would be an exciting day with 18 rounds of golf, great hockey stories along the way, and the culmination in an awards banquet and dinner. Participants would be organized into teams of 5 with an NHL Oldtimer as an honorary captain. For a lot of the participants, this would be the opportunity to renew old acquaintances. For some, it was the opportunity to meet some of their boyhood idols for the first time. And for others, it was an opportunity to spend time with friends and simply enjoy the day's events. Tournament organizers, some of which worked year-round preparing for the big day, once again had everything under control. Teams were designed, cards were ready, official shirts and jackets were worn, and morning snacks were enjoyed. If only they could have predicted the weather. Although cool Vancouver rain was certainly welcome relief to some of the participants arriving from some of the hot spots across North America. A lot of the credit for the organization and creation of the tournament goes to tournament co-chair Senator Jerry St. Germain, who was quick to point out that the tournament organization and success is due to a collaborative effort.
We have 36 sponsors, and they range from Air Canada and Sun Microsystems, right through the whole spectrum, the forest industry, various industries. We've got a real cross-section. And it's their contribution. In the final analysis, they're the ones that contribute the money. And the object of this whole operation is to raise money for the Sunny Hill Health Center for Children. And without them, and we didn't have the Bentleys, the Bradleys, and the Turtons, and all these folks that contribute by way of sponsoring teams, we wouldn't have this event. And then there's the volunteers. We have volunteers that are working here today. They volunteer their time. There's just a litany of people. There's the golf course. There's a whole host of people that make this event the success it is.
A lot of the NHL Oldtimers play in numerous tournaments across North America every summer. So for the players in demand, July and August can be the busiest time of the year as they fly from city to city. And that's where this year's helicopter came in, as the brothers Hall, Bobby and Dennis, both played in a charity golf tournament the day before in Ontario, but followed through with their commitment and arrived just in time.
Hey guys, I heard that, Shacky. Wow. Is that style or is that style? Hi. How are you? What a way to go. Good to see you guys. Hey, Bobby. That's the only way to travel right there. Only way to travel right there. Of course. Yes,
Dennis, nice to see you out for such a prestigious event. Well, it's a real treat to come to this tournament. It hasn't been going on that long, but it's one of the best, and I think I did 50 last year, and this is our favorite, Bobby and mine both.
Well, what a marvelous entrance we watched you two come in. Where'd you come in from?
Well, we were in London, Ontario yesterday at a benefit for a hospital, and we flew in this morning, left Toronto at 8 o'clock. So in order to get us here, they sent a helicopter for us, which was a real treat. Of course, there was no stewardess, no bathroom. It was a cheap helicopter, right?
Now, are you still playing hockey, being involved back east?
Oh, not at all. God, if I played hockey, I could hurt my golf swing.
Not bad.
Thank you. See, I always wear a dark peak cap. As I hit so many good shots, and I can just tip my hat and then I won't get it dirty, see?
Dennis Hull played in the NHL for 14 years, in which he scored 303 goals. He was a member of the 1972 Team Canada in the Canada-Soviet Super Series and also selected to the All-Star team in the 72-73 season. Today, he is an avid golfer, fan favorite at tournaments, and usually the tournament dinner's master of ceremonies.
One old guy's over in the corner, nothing doing. Eddie has to have everyone there. Eddie went over and put his arm around this old guy and he said, "Do you know who I am?" And the old guy said, "No, but go and ask at the desk. They might be able to tell you." Yeah. I was reading the paper one day in Regina, and Eddie said, "Read my telescope." I said, "It's way too far away, Eddie." Then he said, "All the girls in Saskatoon wear boots because they got vertical veins," so. Honest to God. He came into my room on the 15th floor of the Ramada Hotel in Regina. He looked out the window and he said, "You know what? You could watch your dog run away here for 3 days."
Eddie Shack might have been the butt of Dennis's jokes, but don't laugh too hard because a lot of the credit for the involvement of the NHL Oldtimers in this golf classic goes to Eddie. But he's always been willing to take a laugh at his own expense. And his always-on antics usually has people laughing with him and not at him. The respect Eddie receives is what brought the NHL Oldtimers to Vancouver and helped set up the tournament in the first place. If you've ever met Eddie Shack, you won't soon forget him.
Born free, my father's a doctor.
Eddie, very colorful individual all the time. You enjoy coming out to celebrity golf tournaments like this?
It's great. Monday I was in Kitchener with Gordie Howe, and then on Wednesday I was with Morris and Jean Beliveau and Bobby and Dennis Hall. And today I'm in Vancouver with a great deal of fun people. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Eddie, going back to the 60s when you were playing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of the main things that a lot of people recognize you for, not only your hard-hitting and aggressive style and a little bit reckless at times, a very famous song was put out about you in the 60s by a group in Toronto called Clear the Track, Here Comes Shaq.
Yeah, well, how it started when I hit two guys. I was playing for Toronto, and I hit two guys from New York, and I put them both out. And then there was a guy named Paul Rimstead that wrote an article, Clear the Track, Here Comes Shaq. Then they wrote a song, and it stuck with me all the time. And I have the whistle just...
Now, you're heavily involved in a lot of charity events. Besides the golf, you go over and travel in the wintertime as well, still playing hockey.
Well, we play that slow pitch, too, eh? And we play... Last year, I played old-timers hockey and had a lot of fun, but thinking very serious of it this year, not to play. I'd rather referee and get the crowd going and wahoo, let's play hockey, and I can get the crowd going pretty good. And I like doing that. I'm a little bit scared right now. Something could happen, and and I don't want that. I'm having too much fun now. And I'm on the back nine, so you might as well enjoy yourself, and that's what I'm doing. So,
must have been a nice feeling growing up and playing with some of the so-called superstars that a lot of people just wanted to emulate.
Oh, it's great. We played with Bobby Orr, one of the best hockey players that I've, you know what I mean? Like Bobby Hull, one of the greatest shots. Gordie Howe. You talk about Red Kelly, you know what I mean? You talk about all these guys that can play defense, play center, you know what I mean? It was such a great time to play. It was.
As the participants prepared to head out onto the course, a lot of them would share in Eddie's sentiments of reflecting back to an earlier era when the likes of Bobby Hull ruled the ice. But today, the focus is golf, as the covered carts kept participants dry from the spitting rain. The tournament would be played with a shotgun start so that all of the participants would begin and end at the same time. There's something about grown men in golf carts that turns them into kids again. The tournament would be played in a Texas Scramble format as each player would tee off. Then each player would play on from the best shot. Once at the green, everyone would have the opportunity to putt for the bird, a reasonable objective for each hole. Sometimes the term NHL Oldtimers can be a bit misleading, as with the case of NHL great Bob Gainey, who in the 70s helped the great Montreal Canadiens to the success of 4 Stanley Cups in a row. Bob won the Selke Trophy as top defensive forward for the first 4 times it was awarded and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992. We caught up with Bob and I asked him about the importance of professional athletes giving back through tournaments like today's.
Well, so many of these tournaments which are organized for a good cause require the help of the volunteer staff and in this case a golf tournament, the golf course, to give up their course for the day. And we're the lucky ones who get to walk in at the end and have the table set and sit down and eat. But I think all the areas, the communities, the people pitch in, and Vancouver is a very strong area for community involvement. And for myself, who's not living here, I'm happy to be able to come and participate and join in their community in this fundraiser.
Credit to the selection of Sunny Hill Health Center for Children as the official fundraising cause goes to the Clark Foundation, an organization that was formed by the Clark family of Mission out of the desire to better channel personal and corporate philanthropic efforts towards the children of BC. On the day of the tournament, it was announced that it had raised a minimum of $50,000 for Sunny Hill, a number which made Executive Committee member Fred Clark very proud. Located in Vancouver, the Sunny Hill Health Center for Children is a major assessment and rehabilitation center providing specialized services to the children with disabilities. Each year, Sunny Hill provides help to more than 2,500 children from over 210 BC communities. Fundraising events are essential for the hospital's success.
Well, as you would know, in this current economy of reform and restraint, that there's certainly not enough money going into healthcare right now, and that applies to children that we see here at Sunny Hill as well. It's critical now, especially with cuts in federal transfer payments coming, that we find new sources of revenue. And one way to do that, and especially through the generous donation through the Clark Foundation and the NHL Oldtimers golf tournament, that is a way to increase sources of revenue to maintain existing programs, but also to improve and enhance programs and create new ones that were not there before. And that includes creating an enhanced presence in the Fraser Valley and the Mission Abbotsford areas so that we can better serve children with disabilities and their families closer to their own community.
And what better way to raise money than a fun day of golf with some of hockey's greats facing golf humility in the name of charity.
Here goes the rotor cuff. I need golf lessons. Good work. We can get that up and down.
A little harder.
Come on, big guy. Hit one of the green post anyway. Oh, yeah. Great shot.
You look like you know what you're doing, for Pete's sake, Darth.
These guys are putting pressure on me every hole to hit that iron there close. We'll take it. Come off the eagle off 18. Gonna get a birdie here.
If you decline that, boy, you'd be in trouble.
Well, we've had a fun day so far.
Is.
Good bunch of guys, and we got about 7 holes to go. We're hanging tough. We're at 6 under par, and we hear that's not bad.
No, that's
Conditions are kind of tough, a little cool, windy, off and on rain.
Overall, good event.
Great event, second year, and to see a lot of former players, former teammates, former enemies. It's a special time, and give something back to charity is a great way, and golf, of course, is one of the best ways to do that.
Known to many in the area, Darcy played 4 seasons as a Vancouver Canuck. Over his 11-year career, Darcy scored 256 goals and has endeared himself to the Vancouver sports community.
Our Vancouver Canuck alumni is second to none. We've got a great association. We're very strong, led by our president, Jerry Sillers, and very involved in the community, not only here in Vancouver, but throughout British Columbia. We go out and play a lot of charity games, hockey, and a lot of different things, golf events. And golf is a fun way to give something back to something that's been very important to us, and that's the game of hockey.
We're going to hit from way over there, it's likely. I don't know. I'm going to use my ball at 300 yards down the middle. Is that all right?
When we caught up to Bobby Hall, he demonstrated that his inner ear still hadn't reached equilibrium after his helicopter flight. Actually, he's the first to admit that golf is a humbling experience for him, one that he always faces with a smile and a net full of charm. The Golden Jet broke into the NHL back in 1957 and became the first player to score more than 50 goals in a season. Hall's end-to-end rushes and blistering slap shots enabled him to lead the NHL in goal scoring for 7 seasons. He was named to 10 All-Star teams and scored 610 goals over his illustrious career. He is also one of the most personable and caring persons you'll ever meet.
You find an awful lot more of the celebrity hockey players from the 6-team era participate more in fundraising events?
I think we do. We were brought up a little differently than the kids today. We weren't spoiled, and we know that we have to put things back in the communities, and this is the way we have of doing it. We've always been kind of people-oriented. We played just for the sole purpose of, first of all, making a boyhood dream come true to make the National Hockey League, and then to entertain you people. We sure didn't play to pad our bankrolls.
You come a long way from Point Anne.
It's a long way from Point Anne to Vancouver, let me tell you that.
And coming to Vancouver is something that Bobby thoroughly enjoys, especially when he gets to play at the Northview Golf and Country Club in Surrey. Designed by Arnold Palmer, home to the Greater Vancouver Open, and some beautiful scenery, even on a wet day in July. One of the best parts of the day is the camaraderie that all the players share. It's not just about winning, it's also about sharing the experience, playing as a team, and telling a few great stories along the way. Bob Bond, an NHL great with the Maple Leafs, helped them to win a Stanley Cup, even scoring a game winner with a broken leg. He loves this tournament, its format, and the charity aspect.
It's great. I just love the West, and I guess coming from the prairies, it's always fun to move a little bit further west, and I think I just one day I'll live out this way somewhere.
Now, you still live back in southern Ontario around the Toronto area?
Yes, I'm just in Pickering, which is the east end of Toronto, really, and we're involved with Tim Horton Donuts, and we have 3 franchises out in that part of the world, and so I'm busy all the time.
How's your golf game?
Actually, today, just starting to play a little bit better, and hopefully I've got some great players with me. So Johnny Johnson, who I've known for years, he's just a great player, and then the Bentleys, and then young Michael here, he's just fantastic.
Now, the one question that everybody, we keep asking all the time, tell us about that very, very famous situation where you broke your foot in the one game, come back, scored the winning goal in overtime.
Well, that's my claim to fame, and I get a lot of mileage out of that one, but it was one of those screwball goals, and certainly it was an emotional goal for me, and to come back under those circumstances, it was fun. I always feel bad for Bill Gadsby, the puck bounced off his stick and went the wrong way on Terry Sawchuk, so I give Gads a lot of ribbing when I played in Detroit for the 2 years.
For many of the participants, the game itself came second to simply being there as witnessed by some of the rather embarrassing shots. Remember to keep your eye on the ball, which can be somewhat difficult when it enters one of the emerald forests around Northview. But NHL great Andy Bathgate managed to find it with a smile intact. team captain of last year's winning golf team, Andy demonstrated a smooth swing that seemed to fit such a man of grace and poise. Andy Bathgate, remembered as one of the top right wingers in NHL history, won the Hart Trophy as the league's MVP in 1959, won a Stanley Cup in 1964, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1987.
Andy, how's your golf game going so far?
Well, we're a couple under after 3 holes, but a good company I'm with. So we just have an enjoyable day, and they're good players. So you never know, we may be able to defend my title here.
Nice to have you out for an event like this. Have you come out here before?
Yes, actually, my wife's from Vancouver, so we spend quite a bit of time here, and I spend quite a bit of time at Whistler. My daughter works in town here, and my mother-in-law and brother-in-law live here, so we try to get out here as often as possible. Still the nicest place in Canada, so they're very fortunate to live out here.
Big event like this, a lot of names come and really support it.
Well, that's the benefit of it. You know, if you get the quality name players, it makes it much easier for the people here to raise money, and we know it's also for such a worthwhile cause, so we like to contribute something back to the community too, and as long as we know where the money's going, we're very pleased to help them.
So much more friendship nowadays with the players of yesteryear. They just get along so well.
Well, there is. It was such a battle when we were playing each other, but even the present-day players now are starting to associate with the older fellas, and I think that's a good thing too, because they all have to join us eventually, so if they go out of their way a little bit, we're more than willing to be pleasant with them, that's for sure. And at golf tournaments, it's a very nice way to make friends.
After 18 grueling holes, and I do say that sarcastically, all of the participants headed back to the clubhouse to announce their scores.
So you never know.
21.
You know, I think it is 21. Excuse me, you're right. I had the 1 and the 2 mixed up.
12 under, eh?
12 under.
That's pretty good. That's the highest I've heard so far.
Is it?
And that's an honest score.
Honest to God, yeah. How'd you do, Jimmy?
14.
You only lost by 1.
Hey, what the hell? What's the story? That's the story of my life.
14. Are you serious?
Oh, hey?
14?
No, 11, I guess. 11. So we were 20 under. That's not too bad.
Yeah, actually, last year.
That was a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
So, how'd you do?
Great, fantastic. We were 9 under. That's not bad. That's
Same as last year. 12 under?
Those guys were 12 under. No, we were 3 under.
Oh, okay.
We weren't that good.
was 12 under. How'd you do?
Great, we were 11 under.
That's great.
Yeah, no. Fantastic.
Today's events would not be complete without a silent auction, some of Dennis Hall's humor, and a special thanks to those who made it happen.
And I want to make mention that the premium partners, the sponsors, the donors, last year I said of you people, you are the winners, you're the achievers, you're the nation builders, you're the risk takers, and now you're giving and sharing your success with the less fortunate in supporting this cause. We applaud you all, and we thank you all for your generosity. I'd also like to thank the NHL Oldtimers Association, which includes the Vancouver Canucks alumni, under the leadership of Keith McCurry and Jerry Sillers. I want to really thank all of you because nobody knows what traveling is like, and the commitment, the dedication, and the sacrifices you make to be with us are legion, and I thank you.
As the scores were posted, it was announced that Jim Nielsen's team posted the highest, or should I say lowest, since this is golf, with a score of 60, 11 under, to win the 2nd annual Clark Foundation and NHL Oldtimers Celebrity Golf Classic. Even though there was a winning team, you can certainly bet that all of the participants were winners. And of course, the big winners were the children at the Sunny Hill Health Center.
Thank you for watching today's program. It was an awful lot of fun to bring it to you. These are people that I literally grew up and idolized when I was a youngster in my hockey career. And boy, oh boy, it's such a nice feeling to actually get out in the day's events and talk to them. Watch for us next year from the Northview Golf and Country Club. I'm Steve Erickson.